Welcome to Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist, and happy birthday. Happy birthday to the universe. 13.7 billion years ago today, give or take a few days, today the universe came into being with a big bang. And in that instant, everything that can be came into existence, all of time and space, all energy and matter. So happy birthday to everything that ever has been or ever will be or ever can be. Happy birthday to the void and to the galaxies and to the stars, to the comets and the asteroids and the planets, to the natural beauty of the waters and mountains and sky of this fragile planet, our Earth. Happy birthday to all life on Earth, to the fungi and the plants and the animals of the sea and the land and the air that evolved over time to breathe and to eat and to grow. Those unpredictable beings that came into life to feel hunger and pain and sorrow, as well as compassion and hope and joy. Happy birthday to all of us, and happy birthday then to each and every one of you, give or take a few days. We celebrate you, your existence, your life, your pain and sorrow, your compassion and joy, whoever you are, wherever you are in life's journey, however you are participating here in our sanctuary or out on our patio or live streaming from your home or watching a recording online many, many weeks from now, happy birthday. And if you would care to join me in wishing one another and the entire universe happy birthday, you can. You just turn to your closest camera. Those at home are starting to show up. And you can use American Sign Language to say happy birthday. Happy birthday. Yeah, no, folks are turning around to say it to the camera. Yeah, waving. And happy birthday. Our birthday party today is stronger because we celebrate together. The hosts of our party who make this happen, who make this Sunday a reality, are many. Welcoming you as you arrived were Pam and Peter and Susan and others, making it possible for us to hear and see one another with audio-visual are Lee and Todd and Alex and Roy, Chris, our music director, Joel, our song leader. They bring us the music and the lyrics of our celebration, and offering you hospitality is Theda and her Caring Hearts Circle this entire month. Several people have brought apple pies for us to share following the service, so we'll make the service as brief as possible. And Robin, our pastoral associate, is leading this birthday celebration with me through some videos that she has crafted for us. Thank you, and happy birthday to each and to all. Today we welcome the present of our human existence, the gift that each of us has, a birthday gift from the universe itself. We welcome your unique and fragile and lovely expression of humanity, of your life. We welcome your gift of body and heart and mind and spirit, and together we will invite joy. We will invite joy. Happy birthday. Come, let us celebrate. It is good to be together.
Good morning. We light our chalice today with the words of Reverend Tanya Marquez in a piece titled Our Lives Intersect and intertwine. It is a wonder and a mystery that our paths have crossed, that in this immensity of time, in the vastness of space, we coincide here. I am in awe at the ways in which our lives intersect and intertwine, at the beauty we create when we gather. May our coming together make us more compassionate, more just, more caring, and more loving. May our hearts and minds be open to this offering. I am so glad that you are here. Let us worship. Let us marvel at the miracle of being here right now and the mystery that has brought us together.
The Reverend Chris Long, a beloved friend and the minister of congregational life at the Unitarian Church of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, taught me this birthday song. This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. And my family, in turn, taught him this. It's your birthday, and you gotta do the birthday dance. However, there is a more familiar birthday song, which happens to be the most recognized song in the human language. Happy Birthday to You by Patty and Mildred J. Hill. And we're going to sing it now, and I'll introduce who we're singing it to as we begin. So happy birthday to everyone. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to everyone. Happy birthday to you. Now pick a beloved to sing happy birthday to. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stephanie. Happy birthday to you. Now choose someone you don't like. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Christopher Columbus. Happy birthday to you. Now pick someone who's just okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the universe one last time. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear universe. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Now I invite you to a time of contemplation, of considering and of pondering the first 3 minutes. Not the first 3 minutes of the service. You are never going to get those back. No, the first 3 minutes of your own birth, although those are precious and they are vital. Let us instead contemplate the first 3 minutes of the universe. Science, math, and physics direct us to those first moments, and yet we have to use our imagination, as the start of the universe is utterly outside human experience. Once, about 13.7 billion years ago, there was nothing. There was no existence, no time, no matter, no space, no energy, nothing. Please start the clock. In an inexplicable flash, an indefinable bang, an ineffable explosion. Although big, these words really aren't adequate. The universe flared forth into being. Now, these last 6 words are from the imagination of cosmologists Brian Swimme and Thomas Berry in their book, The Universe Story. The universe flared forth into being, and they continue their tale. All the energy that would ever exist in the entire course of time erupted in a single quantum reality, a singular gift, existence. Time begins simultaneously with the birth of existence. Space, too, unfurled out of potentiality and has continued to unfurl each instant of cosmic experience, close quote. Far from orderly, the forces of this flaring forth were primordial, chaotic, and volatile. Cosmic existence was born as temperatures unimaginably hot, forces inconceivably pressurized, began to sort themselves out into energy and matter. Hydrogen was the first to emerge within those 3 minutes, and it would take 13.7 billion years of cooling and changing and evolving for the rest of the periodic table to even begin to fill out. For life to start, for the universe to take shape as it is right now so that we could be here together today. And those original hydrogen atoms formed in those first 3 minutes, well, they're still present because they're right here, they're right now, they're inside you. And that's not a metaphor. That's not poetic imagination, that's a fact. Because nearly 10% of our bodies is hydrogen. Now, you could not exist without it, and it turns out neither could the universe. These atoms create a direct and unbroken thread from the first 3 minutes to this moment, from the birth of the universe to you. And like those first 3 minutes, nothing could have predicted you. You are unique and individual, brought into the unfolding scheme of the universe. And despite the reality of this moment, of all of us being right here, right now, there's no way of knowing what's going to come next. There's no way to understand through you what distinct, singular, wonderful things are going to happen next. What comes through each of us is the realization of the universe continuing to expand and to create in this instant. Those were just 3 minutes. They're like the first 3 minutes of the universe, of all that is or was or ever will be. Unpredictable. And so are you. And now, in the culmination of you, in the gathering that we've chosen to make, each and all of us have a great gift of deciding what we will do with it for the next 3 minutes, the next 3 hours, the next part of our lives. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to each and all of you. Happy birthday to universe. Happy birthday to you indeed. Our first sacred song together is Surprised by Joy. For those of you at home who have your hymnals, it's number 410, but the words will be projected. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and lift your voices together.
Surprised by joy, no song can tell, no thought can compass. Here we stand to celebrate eternal love, to reach for one another's hand. Beyond all other gifts is this best gift alone to mortals given, the love of parent, lover, friend, attunes our hearts to to bliss of heaven. Faith, hope, and love here come alive. Life's deepest treasure is made known when in forgiving, giving all inseparably two are as one.
Please be seated. I invite you now to a time of meditation, of breath and of stillness, of being embodied among this community, here present, far away, or even at some other time. Breathe in and out a little more slowly, as your body allows. Rest into your body. Feel the matter of the universe supporting and upholding you. Breathe in, and as you can, out slowly, and welcome the energy of community surrounding you. Breathe in and out. And open to the deep time that flows into and through you. As we celebrate the birthday of the universe with awe and wonder, as we recognize the existence of life, receiving its vitality and its growth and its beauty, we must acknowledge that all life comes with illness and age and death. We must feel this reality in others and in our own hearts and spirits, our own minds, and our bodies. This is what our spiritual cousins, Buddhists, teach as the first noble truth. For it was the Buddha's experience that illness, age, and death were sources of human suffering. They are painful losses when we witness them, and they inspire grief, mourning, and sorrow. But they break our hearts and spirits when we feel them in our own minds and they are present in our bodies. Buddhists teach that if we turn away, if we reject these painful truths of life, if we clench and grasp and clutch at a life that is false and untrue, then more suffering, more heartbreak arises. Greed, cruelty, brutality. Histories of war and colonization and slavery and genocide. Systems of oppression, racism, sexism, ageism, ableism, fear and hate, homophobia, transphobia, neurodivergent phobia are all downward spirals of suffering. In our current experience of life, these name only a few sources of suffering, of spirals of pain in our individual hearts that break over and over and over and over again. And it is tragic. It's horrible. And it might even be intolerable if it weren't for you. If it were not for you here with me. In you there is the universe, because you are someone who has never been seen before, will never be again. And all of that you are is unique and fragile and a lovely, lovely gift. And there's a great beauty and peace simply that we have chosen to be here together now and share our gift of one another in the midst of suffering, because you have your suffering. You shared it with me, and I've witnessed it, and I would never deny it. And I have my heartbreak too. I know you feel it. And instead of suffering alone, let's do something different with it. Let's exchange it and make it part of this gift of life. Let us offer ourselves to one another in wholeness, all our failures and our regrets, our fears and our mistakes, our fragile bodies and our broken hearts, our tired minds, and oh, yes, our weary spirits. Let's gift to each other as a part of our human lives all that we are, all that we share, is we are part of this universe. We're part that is born, that lives unpredictable lives and will eventually die, and we will suffer. But that is not tragic, and it is not horrible, and it is hardly intolerable because we choose not to suffer alone. Our gift of existence, that emerging and evolving out of the universe, our gift of human life, which is suffering and celebrating. Our gift of ourselves is that we are never alone. Faith, hope, and love here come alive. Life's deepest treasure is made known when in forgiving, giving all inseparably, two are as one.
Hi, my name is Robin Balsell. I'm a pastoral associate here at MVUU, and I'm going to be sharing a piece with you today called Black Joy. This piece is written by the Reverend Kimberly Quinn Johnson, who is herself a Black woman. Although I am a woman of multi-ethnicities, I do not identify as a Black woman, and I just want to make very clear that I am not claiming these words or claiming this experience as my own, but I am sharing this with you with love and respect. The Reverend Kimberly Quinn Johnson starts her reflection with a poem from Barbara A. Holmes, which I believe is titled Joy Unspeakable. So once she shares the poem, then she goes into her own reflection about it. Joy unspeakable is not silent. It moans, hums, and bends to the rhythm of a dancing universe. For our free African ancestors, joy unspeakable is drum talk. For enslaved Africans during the Middle Passage, joy unspeakable is the surprise of living one more day. For Africans in bondage in the Americas, joy unspeakable is the moment of mystical encounter when God tiptoes into the hush arbor. Joy unspeakable is humming How I Got Over, after swimming safely to the other shore of a swollen Ohio River when you know that you can't swim. When theologian Barbara A. Holmes talks about joy unspeakable, she's talking specifically about how the contemplative practices of the Black church have sustained Black people in America through suffering and survival. More than referring to a particular church or denomination, this experience is collective and transhistorical. It's also a different expression of Black religion than I expected to exhibit as a Black woman. On more than one occasion, I've had a particular mode of Black worship projected onto me. The more charismatic modes of Black worship that we're so familiar with, the shout, the stomp, the song. That particular style of Black worship sometimes strikes me as a caricature of joy, a shallow stereotype. I see this in the expectation that more Black worship will bring more lively singing, more rhythmic clapping, more energetic worship. I see this in the anxiety that more Black worship will bring more lively singing, more rhythmic clapping, more energetic worship. The shout, the stomp, the song. But this caricature, this stereotype, is a narrow sliver of the complexity and the richness of Black spirituality and Black worship. The modes of Black spirituality that are most powerful, nourishing, and nurturing for me aren't the stomp, shout, or song. Instead, I think of the rock, the sway, the bend, the moan, the hum. And I think of these things done in community. I marvel that in the midst of sadness and sorrow, in the midst of feeling the effects of generations of trauma wrought by racism and white supremacy, we can still find joy with each other. We are finding joy in each other. I call it Black joy because I am Black, and it is the joy that I have been familiar with my whole life. It is the joy that I have learned from Black people. It is the joy created through our collective healing, our laying down of burdens to be picked up and shared by our people, our community. This is not joy in spite of suffering, a mask put on to hide pain, an armor put on to push through pain. This is an embrace, holding and soothing us in our suffering. This Black joy is joy created through our being together. This Black joy reminds me that I am not alone, that trouble doesn't always last, that I am held and carried forward by a power beyond what I can comprehend. I call it Black joy, but I want to offer it, to the extent that it is mine to offer, to this faith. One of my gifts to Unitarian Universalism is the suggestion that joy is ours. We are the people who commit to justice, equity, and compassion. We are the people who aspire to world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. We are the people who affirm our interdependence with each other and the universe itself. I want to challenge Unitarian Universalism and Unitarian Universalists to claim joy. Unitarian Universalist joy will require a different way of imagining ourselves and a different way of being with each other. Claiming the possibility of Unitarian Universalist joy requires making space for the surprise that Holmes describes. Claiming the possibility of Unitarian Universalist joy requires slowing down to hear the talk of the drum, pausing to move to the rhythms of the drum. Unitarian Universalist joy requires opening to the possibility of the mystical encounter. Unitarian Universalist joy requires embodying this faith differently than many of us are accustomed to.
Matthew Fox, Anglican mystical priest, in his book on prayer, A Radical Response to Life, which was originally entitled On Becoming a Mystical Musical Bear, which sounds a lot more fun. Matthew Fox teaches that prayer is the yes to what is life-giving and the no to all that is not. So I invite you to pray with me. Prayer of thanks and acceptance for the birthday gift, the gift of life. If you will, imagine with me that you are holding a present, one wonderfully wrapped just for you. And there is a card, particularly for those of you who like cards, and it has your name on it, written in the careful handwriting of some beloved. And it says, "Happy birthday from the universe." Unwrapping the gift is a slow and careful process for some of you. You want to save the paper. And for others, it is a rushed shredding of urgent expectancy. It's your gift. You decide how to open it. As you unwrap it, fast or slow, you receive all the births that ever were. The birth of the universe and the stars, life on this planet, and your own. With these births come the cries of life, the calling out in pain, and those in praise. And in between, the time and the space where we live. With these births, there are the rhythms of our ancestors, all of that swaying and dancing between sorrow and sweetness of life. Within these births, there is all time and space for every body, for your body, to exist and to move and to live between pleasure and pain. It's your gift. Accept it. Please, please, please accept it. I know it's hard. It can be so hard sometimes. It can hurt so deeply. But if you accept this gift, the wholeness of it, of your life, of all lives, well, then you can share it. Your existence, your humanity, you become the gift if you accept the wholeness of our lives between pleasure and pain. And that's really the greatest gift that you can ever give. The gift to life, the gift to existence, the gift back to the universe. It's the gift where we move, and maybe we even dance between pain and pleasure together. And there we invite joy. We invite joy. Let's invite joy. May it be so. The Universe Inside You by Jalal al-Din Muhammad Rumi, the 13th century Persian Sufi mystic. Do not feel lonely. The entire universe is inside you. Stop acting so small. You are the universe in ecstatic motion. Set your life on fire. Seek those who fan your flames. Tomorrow is my birthday. Really? I was born on February 6, 1973, and if you're quick with the math, that means I'm turning 50. And you might be thinking, wow, interesting topic for today's service, Reverend Matthew. But let me assure you, today is not a trick to throw myself a birthday party and make you join in. No, today is the party that we always have when we invite one another joy, when we invite joy among us. Now, I say that in full honesty because I don't like parties or receiving gifts or presents on my birthday, and Stephanie can tell you how awful that is. I mean, really, I prefer to give gifts, to plan my celebration, marking the completion of another trip around the sun and the beginning of the next one. I used to do it the other way around. And for most of my trips around the sun, I expected gifts and celebrations. Yes, I expected them. And so I was disappointed when my family and my friends and my community didn't meet my expectations. My beloveds wanted to celebrate that I was alive, and there I was clenching and grasping and clutching about the right way that it should be done. Please don't imagine it. It's really unpleasant. And only a handful of years ago, I became aware of what I was doing. I was ashamed of myself, of course, because I had been rejecting the gifts of love offered to me. And then I decided to go hobbit for my birthday. A hobbit now is an imaginary human from the mind and heart of J.R.R. Tolkien. Now, despite my being twice as tall as these imaginary hobbits when they reach adulthood, I've always felt an affinity for their robust and generous and joyful existence. And as some of you may have recently witnessed, I have furry feet like they do. Don't imagine it. Don't imagine it. On their birthdays, in the books that Tolkien wrote, hobbits gave gifts and threw parties for others to celebrate. And this is now what I genuinely enjoy doing. And so in that way, I guess today's topic is planned, but not as a self-serving celebration, but as a recognition that when we gather, we always have the opportunity to celebrate the existence of the universe, the gift of life, the birth of each other. And our gift to each other is to invite joy. And just a few years ago, the online poet Vermilion Scythe, isn't that great? Vermilion Scythe, wrote the poem Apple Pie. Apple pie is a symbol of life's joys, to know its simplest things that bless us, the greatest comfort and light, all worthwhile. Now, I will give you that apple pie is not the only dessert symbolic of joy. But if you want a symbol of joy in life, apple pie will work. And ever since I heard the cosmologist Carl Sagan in his television show Cosmos say, if you want to bake an apple pie, you have to start with the universe, I've mashed the two together. Apple pie and its basic ingredients are apples, sugar, flour, and as we have today, some gluten-free flour, But among all of that, there are some of those hydrogen atoms, those very atoms born 3 minutes into the start of our universe. Now, there are other elements in there too, those that came into cosmic existence, formed into celestial bodies, evolved into plant life that lived and then died so that we could mix it all up and bake an apple pie. You see, apple pie is a symbol of the universe. And what's more, it's a symbol of the possibility of joy. And what if that's really all it's about? What if that's all the universe actually is? What if existence and time and space, life and death, this big party is just so that we can get together and invite joy? Now, of course, that's a joy that's slightly different from tasting an apple pie or whatever favorite dessert you might have. It's a quality of life mixed in and mashed up between our pleasure and our pain. It is what poet and essayist Ross Gay ponders. What if joy is not only entangled with pain or suffering or sorrow, but it also is what emerges from how we care for each other through those things? What if joy is what emerges through those things? He continues, my hunch is that joy is an ember or a precursor to the wild and unpredictable and transgressive and unboundaried solidarity. And that solidarity might incite further joy. And that might incite further solidarity, and on and on. My hunch is that joy emerging from our common sorrow, which does not mean that we have the same sorrows, but that we in common sorrow, that it might draw us together. And he imagines it as a party where everyone who has a sorrow is invited, everyone who you love, everyone you don't like, everyone who's kind of even okay. Everyone is invited to come and to bring their sorrows, and through our tending and caring, our tears and our laughter, sharing our pains and pleasure, we invite joy. It's the invitation that we give you to come here. And inscribed on that in the hand of a beloved is, bring your expectations. Oh yeah, bring everything that you expect this to be, what you think it's going to be like, what must be right, what the music will sound like, what the minister will look like. Bring your expectations, but be ready to hobbit them and let them go, to give them away. Because we are seeking something far, far beyond self-gratification. We are inviting joy. Rumi, the mystic Muslim poet who died about 750 years ago, was a Sufi. And Sufis believe in a dynamic participation in the gift of life, an ecstatic movement with Allah, a dance with the divine. And so a birthday wish. On this birthday of the universe, give or take a few days, I wish for us all that together we move, we dance within this window of time and space we have together between pleasure and pain, and that we dare to invite joy. May it be so. Our closing sacred song is Let It Be a Dance. The words will be projected, and Joel and Chris will lead us. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join your voices together.
dancing in the aisles is fine. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. More to bend. And like a willow with the wind. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the darkness there's no light. If nothing's wrong then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
Please be seated. We have just a few announcements that I'm going to take really, really agonizingly slowly, knowing that the apple pie is out there, not in here. Our first will be from Tom Sawyer, president of our congregation.
I want to remind everybody that the bylaw vote is still up until tomorrow. So if you haven't voted, those of you that are members of the church, if you recall 2 weeks ago, we put forth some changes to the bylaws that required a 2-week notice. That notice is up tomorrow. So please find the blast email that was sent to you and vote and let us know your feelings about the new bylaw changes. That deadline will be tomorrow.
Thank you. As I am walking over to Connie to tell you about our book sale, I do want to say, and not get out of camera shot, that we are having a Valentine's Day sale. Valentines themselves can be purchased for our OWL program. If you'd like to know more, go out into the Covenant Hall, our entryway, and you will find the Valentines there. We will even send these to whomever you'd like to send them to. So please just step out there and help our OWL program. Connie.
So I am advertising our book sale. I've always known that Unitarians are readers and searchers and thinkers. And we turn out to have a fabulous collection of books that we are selling. And I want to thank all of you who donated the books. And the resources are going to go to our library. The library, we're trying to bring back new life to the library. And let me tell you our mission. It's to have books for searchers and browsers that guide and often an understanding and appreciation of our UU values. So come purchase books.
Thank you. As you leave our sanctuary this morning, don't trample on each other towards the apple pie. And do stop by the wooden bowl or the woven basket. The wooden bowl is where we invite you to put your gifts for our congregation that helps us keep this going. And the woven basket is for a partner. We choose a particular partner each month. And this month, our partner is UU Jazz. It's always good to do jazz hands. UU Jazz is the Justice Network for Arizona that brings together all of our Arizona congregations in the hard work of justice here in Arizona. It is needed. Even though we celebrate certain results in our democracy, we recognize more is yet to be done. If you'd like to help to support the work of UU Jazz, just put a little donation, whatever you can, in the woven basket. Everything that you give in the wooden or woven baskets is gratefully received. Robin, if you would.
Partners in a Cosmic Dance by the Reverend Richard S. Gilbert. Consider the cosmos, an eternal dance of mass, energy, and spirit. Consider the stars, how gracefully they wheel through space in perfect rhythm year by celestial year. Even obscured by clouds, still they dance. Their patterns seen and unseen engraved in us. Consider the planets, how they spin and sweep always in the same way, never missing a beat. Their pattern perfect around the mother star, the intimacy of their dance stored in cosmic knowledge beyond our comprehension. Consider the earth, which dances and is danced upon. Faultless is the rhythm of the seasons, majestic the axial pivoting which centers the global dance. Behold the variety of movement, spontaneity in the midst of regularity, predictable, yet full of surprise. Consider people and the dance of life, the initial impulsive movement, the naive grace that succeeds it, the rich undulation of maturity, the deliberate grace of age, the final rest of death. We are partners in the cosmic dance. Let our dancing be for joy.
Okay. So all this talk about the cosmic dance, and all this talk about the dance of the universe, and the wonderful dances of our lives, did you really think I was going to let you out of here without getting some dancing in? Everybody on your feet, as you can, as you wish. This is a simple one. It's just a cha-cha, made famous by Perez Prado in the 50s, and I thought it was right, cherry pink and apple blossom white. Thought it went with the theme with the apple pies and everything else. So, dancing is nothing more than rhythmic walking. So I just need you to go step, 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 step. You can put a little hip into it if you want.
You can do a few other things, but it's all just rhythmic walking.